Hi, and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Ali Navarro, nutrition chef with Green Our Planet. Did you know that we take our bodies for granted, but our bodies are amazingly complex things, one of the most complex things in this world. Did you know that there are only 6 elements that make up 99% of our body? Do you know what those are? Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. Amazingly, 60% of our body is made up of water because long ago our ancestors came from the sea. About 16% is made of fats, and that is how we store our food internally. And another 16% is made up of protein. Do you know what those are? Proteins make up tissues such as our skin, our hair, and our muscles. Since our bodies are constantly having chemical reactions, that means they are constantly using up our water, proteins, and fats. So I have a question for you. Do you know where we get our fats and our proteins from? That's right, our food. So today, I'm going to show you how to prepare a great recipe for a meal that is not only delicious, but that also gives you exactly the kind of fat and proteins that work best in your body. Do you want to know what that recipe is and where it comes from? Well, it comes from Mexico. Let's go take a look. Did you know that proteins are made up of amino acids and that there are 22 amino acids in our body? Our body can produce all but 9 of those amino acids. The rest we have to get from eating animal or plant proteins. Animal and dairy proteins are called complete proteins because they have all 22 amino acids that we need. Many plants have proteins too, but most of them have incomplete proteins. To get complete proteins from plants, we often need to eat more than one kind of plant. Ancient cultures around the world discovered that certain plants eaten together are complementary proteins. By eating 2 or more plants, we can get the complete proteins we need without having to eat any meat or dairy products. Long ago, ancient people of the Americas discovered that there are 2 plants that have complementary proteins, which are beans and corn. Stay tuned and watch me incorporate these 2 ingredients into my black bean wraps. In a recipe from Mexico. The first step to our black bean wraps is grabbing a can of your black beans and a can of your corn. You're going to want to open these up and drain your water, and then we're going to pour both our black beans and our corn into our pot and set on a stove top for about 5 to 10 minutes until they are nice and warm. And once again, I mentioned that these are complementary proteins, so these 2 will complete our protein. Black beans are from a plant in the legume family, which consists of chickpeas, lentils, and faba beans. Black beans have been cultivated since at least 7,000 years and have been a staple of Central and South American diets ever since. Today, they are added to so many different dishes, but are especially useful when added to corn. So for the second step of our black bean wraps is creating the pico de gallo salsa. So pico de gallo is a salsa used in a lot of Mexican dishes, and it's not entirely blended, but it is very finely chopped. So I'm using a food processor today for mine. If you do not have a food processor, go ahead and just grab a knife and finely chop all your ingredients for your salsa. I'm gonna show you how to make it in my food processor. So I went ahead and cut off about 1/3 of my red onion. Our red onion is gonna be a good source of vitamin C and it has lots of antioxidants. So I went ahead and chopped that 1/3 of it into a smaller piece, and I'm gonna go and toss this inside. And then once we have our onion in there, I'm gonna move on and add our tomato. Today I'm actually using grape tomatoes. I'll be using 1/2 cup of our grape tomatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and toss these in there as well. And these are also a great source of vitamin C and antioxidants. And my next ingredient will be cilantro. Our cilantro is considered an herb and full of antioxidants as well. And for our cilantro, you can go ahead and just remove the stems if you would like. Very carefully set them aside. And you could kind of chop these off a little bit more, toss that inside. And we're almost close to finishing our pico de gallo. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my lime and juice this with my juicer. Just twist this on top. If you do not have a juicer, that is okay. You can go ahead and just squeeze your lime into this. I'm gonna grab my other half, twist this. And now I'm going to pour this inside. And lastly is adding a little bit of salt. So you can add salt to taste. I go ahead and put the salt in my hand and then I toss this inside. And you could go ahead and add more salt after if you would like. So I'll toss a little bit more. Okay, so now that we have all of our ingredients in my food processor, I can go ahead and put my lid on top and just start blending it. And right there I have my pico de gallo. It's very finely chopped. I could go ahead and keep chopping it some more if I want my pieces a lot smaller, but it's super easy in a food processor. And once again, you do not need a food processor to make this. You could go ahead and just chop everything up with your knife.
For my wrap today, I will be using a whole wheat tortilla. You can use any other type of tortilla, pita bread, or even lettuce. I am going to set my tortilla on a flat pan to heat up on each side.
So here I have my tortilla. It's nice and warm on each side. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my black beans and corn and grab a couple spoonfuls and set it on top of my tortilla. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and grab our pico de gallo salsa and we're gonna set this on top. And if you wanna make your pico de gallo spicier, go ahead and add some spicy peppers. So now I have my pico de gallo, that aside. Our lettuce, so it's nice and chopped up, and our lettuce is a great source of vitamin B. It's gonna provide some energy for us. And lastly is our avocado. So I'm just gonna cut a couple slices of this. If you don't wanna use avocado, you can make it into a guacamole and add a little bit more flavor. And now we can go ahead and wrap it up. I'm grabbing the bottom of my tortilla, I'm grabbing my right side, and the left side. And here we have our black bean wrap. Wasn't that easy? It's a great way to get lots of nutrients and your complete protein. So be creative and add your own proteins into your black bean wrap. So now that you watched me create this, I challenge you to do the same and make your plate colorful. So I'll catch you next time from my kitchen.